How is your pee break?
My pee break?
They might flash you undetected.
Random, baby.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
I, too, am a thought criminal. Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
But how much do you actually understand money? Especially the new wave.
Beauty or intelligence. When you unleash both, it is men's kryptonite. Welcome to Talk to Me, Taylor. What is up, everybody? Happy Thirsty Thursday. I hope that you all are thirsty for some common sense in this bitch tonight, baby. I have a guest. He's backstage, and I hope his body is ready. Not because I'm going to Me Too him. Well, I may. I don't make promises I can't keep. And I'm very well capable of Me Tooing over the virtual and airwaves. He's nodding backstage. As you all know, I'm not above it. But I hope his body is ready because A, I'm definitely a special brand of brain dead tonight. But B, I think that he's up to this challenge. You guys know, normally I'm like the overachiever in class, like the first row with all my little notes. And guess what, bitch? Tonight I have like 3 talking points written down. So we're just going to go rogue in this bitch. And I think that this is the perfect person to do it with. I hope he's up to the challenge. And I'm also going to say the manosphere, and I quote, the manosphere is about to die. Not my words. His words. So we're going to talk about that, okay? And before I bring him on, let me just give you a little background, okay? This is self-proclaimed, by the way. Let me just read for you his bio. We have libertarian, #Trump train. We have a cross emoji, a Star of David emoji. We have in all caps, y'all need Jesus. We have his height. So there's no mystery there. We have 6'7". Unless that's the length of something else. I don't know, okay? And that's not just because he's black, guys. Jeez. Always trying to make me out to be, shaking his head. Something I'm not, okay? He's a truth seeker, conspiracy theorist, no filter. Without further ado, everybody, the one and only BlackRant. I'm not as cool as Hotep, so I have to do my own bar mitzvah sounds.
Neither am I. I got to make up my own sounds too.
Like I told them, let me just be the whitest girl ever on the internet. Another one. Okay.
Not the whitest. No.
Oh.
No, not by any means. Not the whitest. You could be whiter for sure.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yes.
BlackRant, welcome to my domain. I'm so happy to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Are the glasses now? We're in this like patriotic matrix here going on between the background and the glasses. Is this a special occasion with the glasses, or what's going on here?
No, but they have like this blue tint, so they kind of make you. You know how they say like, "Oh, you're wearing."
So I'm really not white. Okay, I get it. Not the whitest.
Yeah, you're yeah. There's a little blue tint going on here, but no. It kind of gives me a more optimistic like view on things. It's like I wore these outside the other day, and I went outside, and it was just like these are not blocking the sun by any means. These are just like
the utility is virtually none, other than making me feel optimistic about life.
Yeah, it's not for blocking.
Wow, I was starting to feel special. Like he wore the cool glasses for Talk to Me, Taylor, and now I feel like a fucking loser. So.
Oh no, I'm just trying to make sure that everybody knows how patriotic I am before I go in.
I see.
And, say some unpatriotic things, in this space, in this sphere. Because if you say anything nowadays, political, oh my God.
Oh no, you could literally be like, the grass is green.
Right.
And it's like, what? This is war, bitch. Well, speaking of, okay, before we get to know a little bit more about you.
Oh, I'm not.
And the allure. Glasses or not, we all know the conservative, everyone's falling apart at the seams, the Dems and the conservatives, right? But before we get into like the rapture and the implosion, first of all, listen, I'm a girl, by now, I'm all about not being boxed and breaking out of the box. And just your bio alone, I feel like it achieves that. feats. So
Yeah.
first of all, tell me I don't even know your real name. So tell us your name. What is BlackRant?
Oh my
And
God.
what
Yeah.
is this Jewish star with the cross? I need to know.
Oh, well, first off, you know, let's just put it like this. I'm not some, super cool guy. Cause like you said, I'm always getting out of the box, away from the box. My whole life's goal was to try to get into the box, toward the box, but I'm failing at that. So no, I'm what you would call a messianic Jew. I did my whole thing. I went and got bar mitzvahed. I did that whole shebang bang baruch atah Adonai, so that's a little bit of that. And so it's funny because I bring it back up now because, oh man, we're in such crazy times where, obviously, I don't even like saying this word because it makes you sound like you're a little softy, like a snowflake, but like the anti-Semitism is off the chain. So it's pretty interesting. And I don't seem to get offended by a lot of things. I'm not even really offended by that. It's just we're in very interesting times. But I will tell you that if I told you my name, you would not deny my Jewishness. No, you would not deny my Jewishness.
Let's hear it.
Well,
he's like,
no.
Even Leibowitz. No, let's hear
it. No. Well, my name is Solomon, and so they call me Shlomo, where I come from. So very, very Jewish name, very, very Jewish roots. Actually, my family's came from a pretty religious background, and then I said, screw that, and I broke out of that box, and I haven't been able to get back to a box ever since.
So that's what you were referring to. I was going to ask you about that, about being in a box, breaking out. Now potentially I've been on like a similar journey, but with other things, and being like, is there something to the box? I don't think at the end of the day, but everything's upside down. It has you thinking like that, right? You're like, shit.
Well, let's just put it like this. Every man wants to get to the box, but not every man knows how to get to the box. No, not every man knows. So and we're seeing a lot of people who are actually going in the opposite direction. They're following my path. They're moving further away from the box in recent times. And that's why I made the statement, the manosphere is dead, but hopefully we'll get closer. We'll start coming backwards toward the box.
To the box is of so wait, let's hold on to that for a sec, because are you saying that you were sort of like a fair weather Jew and now you're like, wait, I'm seeing, and it is palpable. Also, what is with these what's with the 7,000 thing? What are they saying? Israel paid anyone who sticks up for $7,000? Like,
that's
on TikTok, like literally step off.
Yeah, that's the meme.
I
mean, yeah. If you're, shilling for Israel, you're getting $7,000. Now, I'll break it all down.
Honestly, I wish, bitch. Okay, I can fucking you. Who do I call? Do I call BB or what? Shit.
Right. One post and you'll be straight for the month on most of your bills.
Exactly.
Right. Who's not gonna shill for Israel for that? I mean, times are tough right now. But it's we can get into it, all that stuff, but I just, my opinion has gotten so different, crazy strong, because I've seen everything that's been going on, and obviously, like, dude, I actually enjoy Andrew Tate. I enjoyed the whole ride and run that he had over the past few years, but it's just crazy. It's like we're reaching this point where we have a lot of nihilistic men, women, people on the internet, just in general.
So, okay, before I turn to the nihilism, I can't get it out of my brain. So wait, are you Christian? Are you what? Because you have Jesus in your, and who doesn't love a Jesus moment? Like the J-Man, of course. So are you practicing Jew, but you still can, preach the power of J-Man, fellow Jew, or what? Where are you at now?
Well,
I mean, bio, just out of sheer curiosity.
Well, most of the Jews I've ever met are like not practicing, but so that's, but no, I mean, I used to be very, very much so in the temple and things like that. But what happened is we converted to Judaism at some point in time when I was younger, mostly because of a lot of the research that my dad had gone through, and he looked at, some of the more African, Middle Eastern origins and things like that. So he said, "Hey, let's go become Jewish." And I think he was actually just trying to make a lot of money. And it didn't work out like that, because you can't just convert into a religion and they just pay you money. I mean, that's not really how it goes. But and then there's a lot of broke Jews out there as well. So
Indeed, Mythbusters. Yeah,
there's a lot of retarded Jews out there as well.
I would know nothing about. Yeah. Okay, so because I had assumed. So when I DM'd you, I was like, I made a joke. I was like, "What are you, like one of like 10 Black Jews on the planet in the States?" Like, I always feel so bad because I've been truthfully, after everything happened with Charlie Kirk, I've been trying to go more, because I was always a fair weather Jew. I would go like every couple of years at the high holidays. Now I'm actually trying to go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm trying to go every Friday now, and I always see like that one Black family, and I'm like, I feel so bad. I'm like, guys.
Well, next time you see them, do the totally non-white person thing to do and go up to them and say,
be
"Hey,
weird.
Listen, I met a Black Jew, guys." Isn't that crazy?
And you guys
make them feel so comfortable.
Guys, I know a Black Jew. It's like the white person thing of like, well, my Black friend said.
Right.
So I can be like, my Black Jewish friend said, guys. It's what I was joking about with Hotep. Like, you speak for everyone ever.
Oh yeah.
And
that's absolutely.
It's like the white liberal Karen, their Achilles heel. They can't know nothing else.
No,
they know
can't
other
help
lifestyle.
Themselves. So go up to them and do that, and it'll be
social experiment. They'll be like, who invited this girl? No one asked.
I have a story. Like, when I first actually, we're both from like a similar neck of the woods, but when I had moved to that neck of the woods, I was like, preteen, teenager, and I had gone to this temple that actually ended up becoming my home temple. The first thing that happened after service, I was done, like the first service ever. This little white kid walks up to, this little Jewish kid walks up to me.
Like he was 30, but no.
Yeah, no. I've seen some of that. But no, he walks up to me and my brother at the time, and he just like, absolutely no shame, no irony, no nothing. "Hey, do you guys rap?" Like,
Oh. He's like, "Do you guys play basketball?"
Right. Well, I think he took a look at us and went, okay, they're not 6'7", so they're not playing basketball. But he was like,
Oh my God.
But interestingly enough, that kid, man, he was the rabbi's son, by the way. And so I got all the little perks of being his friend, which was cool. But he was up on all the hip hop. He introduced me to 50 Cent before 50 Cent became famous. So yeah.
How funny. Yeah, no, the Black Jew, it's a rarity, but I love to see it. It makes me happy. So I'm glad you didn't take offense to it, because
the thing that's offensive, it's offensive, that we always hear about from the Jewish community. "Oh, we need to, grow the population. We need to, you got the old Jewish people come up, "Oh, yeah, what are you going to have the kids? What are you going to, And, but it's funny, because it's like, you would think that hey, just convert some more people, just like build an army. But I guess that's not really, a priority. So I don't know. I'd like to see more brown Jews around here.
Oh, so you're saying it's like they'll preach that, but you don't see the concerted effort to actually like, are you saying in general, or you're saying specifically to try to get more Black people to convert? Or you're saying
well, it doesn't have to be Black people, but
you're saying in general. I got it. You're saying in general.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Especially because you kind of gotta widen the gene pool a little bit. Like those Hasidic Jews in New York, they're kind of they're double dipping and stuff sometimes, so it gets a little weird. But,
yes. This
Yeah.
It could get a little freaky deaky. So speaking of freaky deaky, okay, what Andrew Tate, my friend. So you being my friend, not Andrew Tate.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh snap.
No. So all right.
Freaky deaky Andrew Tate.
I don't feel like I personally don't feel like getting slapped around today for breathing and existing, but that's just me, I have some self-respect. But so, okay, you DM'd me earlier. You said the Manosphere is about to die. Yeah. And this was in regard to, I talked about it last week, guys, in the episode I did telling my story about, how, my personal experience with bullying and how now everyone is just so dehumanizing and hostile and really really gross. But this was one of the stories I mentioned with Andrew Wilson on the Whatever podcast, who some of you may know I went toe to toe with last year. And the main host, Brian, was like, guys, you are hijacking the show. But there's a viral clip of him with the lesbian woman, and he's just completely ego hurt, knee jerky, below the belt, literally so gross, like starts calling her names, throwing her under the bus, literally is like, I'm better than you, you stupid fucking bitch, da da da. And that's what you were responding to. So
yeah,
tell me about that, because I also we'll talk about Andrew Tate in a minute, but yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about Andrew.
That's bookmarked in my head, yeah.
Listen, I've seen this guy, and he's got, he's very popular. Gets tons of views. But one thing I was trying to point out was I have a basic principle and a rule set. Like, my main theory about men versus women is they have a biological rite of passage, right? For women, their rite of passage is almost built into, when they grow and they go through puberty, and they're kind of like that first time that they experience their, friend that time of the month or whatever like that. Men don't necessarily have that rite of passage where there's a moment that's clearly marking them from boy to man, right? And so men are always seeking that. And as we've heard in the past, it's like previous civilizations have always had those rites of passage. Now we don't have that. The rite of passage now is to get on the internet, look for information that you can't find in school because everything's PC. It's too politically correct to do anything, say anything, move around, whatever. So you go on the internet, you find a guy like this Andrew Wilson character. Men love logic. We love logic. We like it when things make sense, right? This guy's very logical, just like a Ben Shapiro, super hyper logical, and Jordan Peterson as well. And it's like, not knocking these guys, but the craziest aspect of it is you see that this masculinity is bent towards hyper, logic, but they're missing that true component of having that, I don't even want to call it like sensuality, but that empathetic aspect to who they are. And the reason why I said the manosphere is like dying and dead is because it's economic. We'll get to that when we talk about Andrew Tate. But also you have these men who are the representatives of a movement, and they themselves don't even hold up to the standards that they have. So when I was looking for a rite of passage as a young man, I said, dude, I need to get punched in the face. So I went and did MMA. I went and fought. I went and did jujitsu. I went and actually did stuff. So I knew that I could hold my own and not be afraid around men. If you're a man, you're not afraid around men. You have no reason to snap at a woman, especially for doing to you the same thing you've just done to her. I've seen countless clips where these guys are on the shows and they're arguing, debating against OnlyFans girls, which is like 9 times out of 10, that's like a grown man having a boxing match with a toddler. It's like, come on, guys. So they're using all these finer points of logic and statistics, and this OnlyFans girl's like, well, fuck you. And it's like, it's like, well, of course they're not.
I saw it in person when I was on the show. Yeah. It was just like,
right.
This is humiliation porn, because that's what they do. They try to like humiliate them on purpose, try to make them look stupid.
Right.
And I was like when I was on the show, I was trying so hard to like raise the IQ of the general. I was like, right, ladies, right? Like, are you really this? Like, come on, bitch. Like, I'm trying here. I'm holding out for you. But yeah.
Yeah, I know this girl who she went on the Whatever podcast, and then she went on the Myron Gaines podcast because she's an OnlyFans girl, and she's actually decently intelligent. But the same thing for her as well. It's like, dude, is she really going to argue that hard? Because her, the economics of her being in that situation and being too smart is like, it's like guys are going to be like, I don't know if I want to check out her OnlyFans. So there's also that as well, but
we don't want to think that hard when we're looking at tits, though.
Right.
I tried my own experiment with that. Okay, that's a story for another day. But yes, can confirm people do not want to think that hard. A friend told me, BlackRant. A friend told me it wasn't anecdotal. But
no, I'm from experience. Yes, absolutely. But so, my whole point is, and I'll shut up because I know I'm going a little long, but my whole point is to say that, if you're super logical and you deprecate somebody's lifestyle and then they come back and do the same thing to you and you just lose your mind, it doesn't matter what the reason is, you lost the debate. And so I saw Little Duval, who's got millions of followers. he posted that one little clip, it's over.
Yeah, but it really is. And look, this could go for a female as well, but it's like an ego that is literally so fragile. And that's exactly what we saw, is like that reactive. It's like you can't even hold your cool at all. You know, if I were to, not to be reductive, but, and look, I've said this for years because I was at the epicenter of media in Hollywood where all of this, you know, the man Hades smashed the patriarchy, all this shit was percolating. And even from the inside, I was like, guys, this is not going to end well for you, bitch. Trust me. Like, why don't we actually bring men in the fold, have these dialogues? Because what do you have but the rise of entities like the Whatever podcast and Nick Fuentes is the Andrew Tates. No offense to your buddy there, which we're going to get to in a second, because I feel like here's how I would reduce it, right? Men feel so shit on. They feel so lost in the sauce. And I'm not, by the way, like breastfeeding them and coddling them.
I mean, you can do that if you want.
But,
I mean, I don't think
only the good ones
yeah.
who are worthy. No, but you know, not to at all in that way. Like, but you know, but after so much punching down and villainizing, I feel like they felt they could identify with these characters who were almost larger than life and like punch down women, you know, in a way, and they felt seen. They felt like it was their form of like power, you know what I mean? And kind of grasping at that. And it's really sad to see, because I've always been such a fierce advocate of men, but strong, good, powerful men. And this to me is just like complete, whether it's an Andrew Tate, whether it's this guy, like complete weakness and ego wrapped in this facade of like big bad guy. And I feel like, you know, if you're that secure as a man, as a human, as whatever, and again, it could go either way. It's like, why do you need to go those lengths to make women or whoever it is like an inferior? It's like that just show, right? When you have, you know, when you have that confidence and you have that security, just you don't, there's no even, it doesn't even enter your brain. And so it's breeding like crazy, which we're gonna get to, like the Nick Fuentes, you know, unraveling here, but right? I mean, does that kind of make sense to you?
No.
Are you a millennial?
Yeah.
Okay, so am I. Yeah.
I'm unk, bro. I'm an old head. That's why I've been doing so much investigation. I also, dude, big props to Tucker Carlson, bro. Like, he's definitely an old head. And he's doing the work to try to understand what's going on. Like, on the one hand, I am a man. I totally get it. I understand it. I get the rejection and that men have felt in the past. And then they just project that rejection onto almost every single female that, you know, they don't think that they can get or they deserve.
100%. Yeah.
But a lot of it is performative and it's a grift. And I feel bad for these young men because they don't see that it's a grift. And it would be okay if something was being provided from the grift, but there's nothing that's being provided except, hey, this is the space I go to virtually, digitally. But, you know, we're still like 2-3 years out from my robot girlfriend being delivered in the mail. So I guess I'll just sit here at home.
You know, so my philosophy on all this, and you know, you're so awesome. I know you've been such a supporter of my platform and my show. So, you know, you may have come across this, but my whole philosophy is like not to start playing whack-a-mole and censor. I know, you know, you have a group of conservatives losing their mind over, you know, Nick Fuentes gaining more steam and all this. And I am always such a firm advocate of the best, strongest ideas will win out in the end, period. That's just, and I really do. I didn't agree with everything he said. And it's crazy because Charlie Kirk is rolling in his grave right now. But I feel like he kind of epitomized that. Like he was like, he opened, you know, debate, and he was so convicted for men too, like to lead them to a better life, you know, stability, marriage, you know, add something, you know, valuable to the world and contribute and, you know, all this and productive.
Well, he was an example. Like, I could not believe it when he was killed. That people got on the internet, it was like half cocked. Like, it's like people are obviously just half of their brains are being disintegrated on a daily basis because people were getting on the internet half cocked and going, this is the hateful, bigoted, crazy I'm like, bro, we're not talking about Alex Jones. We're talking
It's like
about
enter
Charlie
Nick
Kirk.
Fuentes. You want to
Right.
talk about fucking crazy?
Right.
You guys thought
Right.
Charlie Kirk was crazy. Like, good
Well,
morning.
And all I saw, clip after clip after clip, was him just being super patient. Like
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
yelling at him, he's just like, okay, I'm listening.
You
Like,
guys
yeah, he would
thought
own them, but
100. Yeah. And that's similar to what I said to Andrew Wilson was that
Mhm.
exact thing. It's like, again, someone like him, by being so aggressive and forceful and just shitting on the person and decredit, all of it. It's like, I said to him at the time that because he was all proud of himself, similar to what he said to this woman, like, I'm a really great orator and a communicator. Again, it's like, do you need to like jerk off to yourself right now if you're really
the
that
circle
confident
jerk
in it?
is real, bro.
But that idea, right? It's like an evolved person who is, has a wherewithal and is intellectual can actually go, I understand that, but or whatever, try to reason with the person where it's like we're seeing again, like the Andrew Wilson thing, right? But all that's where it's like there's not even any wherewithal or capability to do that. But I say all this because like right now it feels like at arm's length and separate because this is all on the internet. And sometimes I wonder, again, is this a fight to get into? Because are these young men that you're talking about just literally walking amongst us? And we like, how are they going to operate in day-to-day life? Right. So I like to think, again, the strong, good speech will stomp out the Nick Fuentes is. But what do you make of that? And also take us on your Andrew Tate journey. I haven't, the blondes didn't forget. It's all up here in the vault. Yes.
Okay. Well, the folds of the brain. That's good. You got some brain folds. You're not a smooth brain. That's good. I'll say this, like people were saying like Mark Levin or whatever, who we're not going to get into Mark Levin, but he would say, the people were saying, oh, Charlie Kirk never debated you, Nick Fuentes. He didn't recognize you and whatever. And then they try to paint with their own brush as to why. But I think Charlie Kirk was pretty, he didn't really out and out say it, but Nick Fuentes' shtick and everybody's fallen for it is to be a troll. Right? He's just following Trump's playbook. Trump is the ultimate troll. You can't deny a troll if you allow them to get under your skin. And so Charlie Kirk was just like, I'm not going to talk to a troll. I think he said that. He's like, he's a troll.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Not even going to platform it. Right.
Right. You're magnifying his audience when you do that. And he didn't think that it was, on brand for him to talk to somebody like that. So it makes sense. But it doesn't mean other people can't do it. Like if Tucker Carlson wants to do it, that's fine. But what people don't realize is it's not just the best speech wins or the best ideas win. The best execution of those ideas wins, right? And so this is why we've had civilizations in the past that have fallen to communism or fallen to this or fallen to that. They had better systems prior to, however, they weren't executed well. For example, like if you look at China before it fell to, the warring states and then communism, Maoist China, they had a better system than what communist China was, because communist China is basically just imperialism like they had before. But it was just, they had all these, what are they called? Eunuchs running everything. These spoiled royalties who never went outside the castle, never saw what was going on beyond the walls. So it was very easy for communism to infiltrate. And so what's happening right now is the same exact thing. And this is getting to my point about this whole movement is economic. The manosphere is everybody is motivated by economics. And that doesn't just mean money. It's just like, what is the most economical way for me to get a snack? If I have to go downstairs, go in my refrigerator, pull it out, cook it, whatever, make it, whatever. Or if I can just order DoorDash, and if it's cheap enough, I'll do that instead. What is the most economic way for you to get what you want? And right now, men are being economically disenfranchised because the types of jobs that men like to do and the types of jobs that set them up to have successful families have been eliminated. And so there's a ton of frustration from men. And that's being harnessed because men respect other men with lots of money and women want to be around men with lots of money. So you got these guys with lots of money going, oh, screw bitches. They suck, and I don't know if I can curse on here, but
fuck yeah, you can. Right.
But it's an economic thing.
No,
So
100%. And let's be real. I'm not trying to be sexist, but it's like a value or how you're perceived with women. It's beauty and youth with men. It's what you're talking about. It's money. And it doesn't even have to be the opposite sex. It could be peer to peer, like you're talking about, how other men perceive you as a man, how other, right? It's just kind of like, this is like goes back to caveman shit. But
oh yeah, yeah.
But I
Well,
feel
can you
like
protect the tribe?
and I feel like even someone like an Andrew Tate, who I'm not even going to get into all his, why do women vote and all this shit, but like he's sort of caricatured that idea of like, here's my fucking balls out with my Lamborghini and this, and you're fucking rich and I'm
you got
doing
a Bugatti?
1,000
have a
sit-ups a
Bugatti?
day. Yeah. So tell me about, and look, same thing with, this is where like you talk about people's brain capacities are non-existent. I could agree. I've agreed before with Nick Fuentes. Recently, Andrew Tate, same thing. There are things he said when he talked about all the UK rights, all this. I'm like, man has a point. So that's okay. It's like we've lost all of that nuance. But what do you find, like you said, you followed his trajectory, things that you're like, he's valid in that, and things that you're like, absolutely not. And again, is it actually seeping into how real men think, like in day-to-day life, not just in their mom's basement on the internet?
I'm too old, right? Like I said before, I'm unk. So that stuff doesn't affect people like me, people my age. Like, you have to be in your 20s. You have to be, I mean, now if you're older than Nick Fuentes, you could still be definitely influenced by Nick Fuentes for sure. I talked to a guy the other day who was definitely older than Nick Fuentes. But have you ever heard the term arrested development?
Of course.
Like that TV show?
Or the show, right?
Yeah, right. And it's like, it's a very similar thing to like Disney adults, right? It's like, except Disney adults is like the worst version of it I've ever seen of all time. It's just like, oh my God, like this is like a virus of the mind. But so there's arrested development that's happened with men a lot, like just generations of men, just generation upon generation of men. And the reason why one of the main talking points that these guys in the manosphere bring up about, oh, you need a dad in the household, is because, well, did you have a dad in the household? A lot of these men didn't even have a present father in their household. It doesn't just affect women, it affects men as well. And so if you never had that pressure put on you of having, like, because fathers bring pressure, that's what they do. They just don't let you lie to them.
You're
like
not gonna fuck around and find out.
Right. They're just like, dude, listen,
I did it with my dad. No. No,
Right.
My friends and I used to joke in middle school because our dads were both like hard asses. Like we'd all be all proud, like getting a 99 on our score. And it's like, what about that one extra point? Like,
right. Well, there was just like a study done that like the reason why dads do dad jokes is because they're trying to like do like a stress test on their kids. Like they're trying to put a little bit of pressure, like a little bit of confusion, so that you continue to remain oriented into your world, right?
Wait,
so it's like,
pause. A man intellectualizing with logic a dad joke is the most meta thing I've ever. I'm so honored that just happened on my program. Like the most.
Well, yeah. No, I thought that was pretty amazing that they did a study on that. But it's like, it makes sense. It's totally true. Dads like to troll their kids. And it's like, if you don't have a dad that's trolling you, this is why we have so many guys out here who they just blow up at the smallest thing. And so this is like the number one. I have like 15 conspiracy theories that I could throw at you, but I'm just gonna stick to this one. But the fatherless home is, and this was something Charlie Kirk always talked about as well, but it's most demonstrable in the Black community. And so you see these young boys who, like, when something happens, they just blow up and they get emotional. Women get emotional, but it doesn't look the same. When a man gets emotional, it's like scary and dangerous.
That's true. That father figure, and I actually heard or I read today that our generation has the least amount of present father figures of literally any before us. Yeah.
What we're watching is a generational problem that is rising to the surface, and this manosphere is literally just a digital casino gulag grifting scheme by a lot of these guys. Now, I like Andrew Tate because at least he's legit. He backs it up. He's been a kickboxer. He's not some guy like this Andrew Wilson who probably couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. A lot of these guys can't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. Like Nick Fuentes, I would love to see him get in an actual fist fight, like for real, for real. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I likened Ben Shapiro and Nick Fuentes going back and forth like the two kids who were in Model UN, except Nick Fuentes is the kid that all the other Model UN kids were told not to like because, you know, Ben Shapiro's like the leader of the Model UN kids. Like they're all nerds. Both of them are super nerds, but they're fighting it out. And here we have regular dudes, guys who work regular jobs, guys who work at Taco Bell or whatever going, oh my God, this is Nick Fuentes is cool. I'm like, he's the kid in school that you'd want to put in a locker.
That's so true. No, imagine like they would get their asses. Well, I'm just imagining how that would play out and like watching that, the entertainment.
They're in the hall going.
I want to help men, but I feel like I also, you know, everything you laid out, like how men think and the logic laid out and all these deep dive, you know, I want to help. And because I see the power, but I'm like, are they going to like, I feel like, let's be real, men don't want to learn from a woman, at least not outwardly from women. Like that's why I'm like, we just need good, not the Andrew Tates. Like we just need good, strong, because I see I mean, every man does and every woman does like the beauty of life and the experience when you are not a misogynistic, sad little boy. Like when you have all this going on in your existence, in your life, like it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
no, you're
need
advertising
help.
when you got all.
When you got all, it's fucking awesome. Yeah,
I
they're
think
missing out. They just need help.
I think the only way to counter like a Nick Fuentes or so this is what I was saying before. Like, it's not just about having good ideas. It's about having good execution of the ideas. So for example, Nick Fuentes, Nick Fuentes is, I think the core of his ideas are actually, they're kind of sound. He's pretty knowledgeable about geopolitics. However, his like mid-surface level ideas are not very good, but his execution is, I mean, you can't deny the execution. The execution is top tier. So for me, I'm like,
engaging. Yeah.
Right. You could be, the only way to beat like a Nick Fuentes is to be a Nick Fuentes for your own group, right? Like rather than having groypers, you have to have like, you know, whatever women call it.
The female version of a
bean
groyper?
flickers. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they.
Bean flickers? I'm crying. Is this new slang that the kids are using?
I mean,
I'm
you know,
dead right now.
If the shoe fits, but no, I mean, you gotta have like. So yes, men are not going to want to learn at the foot of a woman because you're a simp, dude. You should be a simp. You should be a simp for your wife. You should be a simp for your actual loving girlfriend. You should be whatever. But if you have your legions of women who are actually like, you know what, I'm ready to not necessarily be Susie B. Homemaker and trad wife, but I want to be somebody who's, you know, someone that people can be with and can see themselves being with, and that transformation starts to begin. The craziest part about Charlie Kirk is I personally, I don't know what happened, who was behind it, like, you know, behind the scenes and but obviously he was the glue holding everything together, because now you see the real underlying motivations that are on the right.
It's crazy. Yeah. With that, and to wrap up here.
Sorry.
No. Because there's like a million ways that my mind is going right now. You know, I thought about, you know, even what you said earlier, and it's so true. It's like right message, right messenger, right time. And even you think about like making a comeback thanks to Nick Fuentes, but like a Hitler, even you mentioned Mao. It's like, right, Mao, when his rise to power was like China was like fractured and disjointed and in shambles. Hitler, same thing. Like Germany got its asses handed to them after World War I. So, right, it's like these people who came in and ushered in this sort of like unity and hope and all that. Well, a fucked up version of hope, but you get where I'm going with this. And I think that's like what we're seeing now. And again, you know, my view has always been, you know, like yourself, very much a libertarian. And it's like, let the best message, let the best speech win. And I'd like to think that people aren't that retarded and brain dead, that the best will win out. But curious, you know, to close here, I did read a piece today about JD Vance. It was in the Free Press. JD Vance versus the Groypers, and the person who wrote it, I don't know exactly his, because you know JD was a close friend of Charlie Kirk's, like more in his ideological camp and all that, versus the Nick Fuentes and all them.
Right.
And the person basically said, and they were close to JD Vance. I don't know, they're in what capacity, but basically suggested that same thing, like, you know, censoring Nick Fuentes or deplatforming, that doesn't help. It just makes their, you know, it just makes the people they speak to on a rise even more and get more vengeful and angry. But I thought this was interesting. He was like, don't kind of go across the aisle to try to bring them over. Don't necessarily like go out of your way to be extra to bring them in. Don't necessarily just shit on their existence either. Just sort of, again, be like, here's what we got and here's why it's 10 times and why it's going to make your life 10 times better. And I thought that's so interesting, because your impulse would be to kind of bring them over, right? What do you think about that? And again, just like the marketplace of ideas and the clash of it, because it's fucking getting wild and it's only the beginning.
Yeah. No, I think that, and I'll try to be quick. I think that JD Vance is too smart. Like he said, I've always been of that mindset. I've never been the guy who's, you know, stood out. Like I said, I'm not like 6'7" or whatever. My strategy has always been to entice people, to show them, hey, it's better over here. And I think this group of young men, a group of frustrated men, is always good to have in your back pocket. Like, I think Trump likes having that section, that Nick Fuentes section of the right-wing politics in his back pocket. Everybody, any like prince, you know, Machiavellian prince would want that, right? However, if you want stability, economics is the way to do that. And so JD Vance is making the argument like, dude, we're not going to win them over with debate or talking to them, because they've already made their mind up. This whole situation, the Nick Fuentes, the more, you know, extreme right wing or whatever, they will vanish if the Trump administration is able to create a booming economy, right? Without that, they will grow. Just like we said before, with like Hitler, the socialists were fighting the communists in Germany. The German government couldn't control it. The Deutschmark was, you know, out of control, like super crazy inflation. When people are desperate, they don't care who's leading them as long as there's a leader. But if you want to stabilize your society, your country, your culture, you have to have a thriving economy. And so you keep those desperate, frustrated men in your back pocket if you want to throw them against the establishment Republicans, which is why I think this is like a generational shift. Like, think about 10 years ago when Trump was running. Who are those frustrated, angry men, right? They're like 40 something years old now. They're not trying to go fight a war. The new generation is the 20 somethings who really are getting screwed economically. So Trump's like, all right, he'll listen to his son, Barron. He'll be like, all right, we'll keep them in our back pocket. But if we can get what we want, then let's make an economic miracle happen and give those guys some jobs, which is the number one argument for deportation and all this other stuff. But so JD Vance is 100% correct. And I agree with that as well. People don't, I told this to somebody who I was consulting with on a campaign where I'm at. People don't vote against somebody. They vote for you. And so if you can't deliver a vision for what you're going to provide, they're not going to vote. They're just not going to show up. They're not going to be like, I hate that other guy so bad. The only time this has actually really worked is like against Trump, but we know why that is. So you have to offer people a vision. You have to give them something that they're looking for. You have to know what they want and listen to your audience. And so on your side of things, I think women are totally open to hearing this message. Their ovaries are aching, like you're saying, and it's like they want, but they don't know how to find the right man. They don't know how to go about blending and mending and creating that proper relationship. Because no, I don't want guys I don't want to go back to the 70s where women couldn't have credit cards, bro.
It's such a toxic cyclical thing where
Right.
women become more bitter, and then they're like, oh, fuck these guys also, and then the men are bitter. We've seen how that's played out, and it's just this round and round thing. So, I love what you said, though. That's so true. Like having vision and how so much of this toxicity or dysfunction comes from desperation. That is so true. So here's to making everybody a little less desperate, I say. What do you say?
Yeah, free hand jobs for everyone.
Oh, okay. Your words, not mine. Your words, not. All I can say is my 3 little notes can eat their hearts out. So you did great. And with that, we're off. That's it. Thank you, BlackRant.
Thank you.
You'll have to come back again into my little domain here.
Into your lair, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't me to me, so.
Well, you me too'd us with the hand jobs. I don't know. Like, I don't even know what's going on in the after show after dark.
I'm just presenting a new economic message.
I
see.
I see. It all goes back to the OnlyFans girls earlier. I see it all back to the beginning.
I mean, listen, we all gotta,
You're sounding like a mom. I don't know. You're sounding kind of commie to me. Just hand jobs all around, everybody. What's mine is yours. We have a hybrid
society. We're not totally capitalist, so we can have one section of society that's communist, and free hand jobs for everyone.
Report back.
Yeah.
Let me know how that goes. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Good night, everybody. See you on the other side. A little less desperado. It's not a cute look. Thanks, guys. Everyone in the comments. See you Monday. Good night.
Chris, how was your pee break?
My pee break?
They might flash you undetected.
Random, baby.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
And I too am a thought criminal. Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
But how much do you actually understand money, especially the new wave?
Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash both, it is men's crypto.